The Aegis Gladius is also one of the ships that got a major rebalance during the current 4.3 patch cycle. And by the way, the latest news about 4.3 PTU is that today, which is August 13th, 2025, today we are going to have our first release candidate. Actually, I think the current 4.3 PTU patch is the release candidate because CIG said they are preparing a small hotfix build for the 4.3 PTU environment. So I don't think there will be a standalone PTU build today. It's just the hotfix. And once the hotfix is released, our current PTU patch will be the first official RC. So 4.3 Live might come sooner than we thought. And comes with it will be an interesting new ship, the L-21 Wolf by Cougar Intergalactic. And many people say that the reason the Gladius got a rebalance is because of this ship. Actually, nerf is a better word to describe what happened to the old Gladius. I don't know if this is cause and effect or just some random correlation, but it is also my observation that usually there is a ship rebalance before a new ship release. And this time is no difference. So in this video, we will be talking about the changes that happens to the Gladius and especially do our first preliminary comparison between the Gladius and the Wolf, which is not in game yet, but on the ship performance viewer as well as ERCO, the stats are already in so that we can do our first comparison. Now, let's begin. The SCM speed of the Gladius received a slight buff from 225 meters per second to 226 meters per second. And the SCM boost forward speed has no change, 520 meters per second. Compared with the Wolf SCM speed is 230 meters per second. A little bit faster than the Gladius, and the Wolf's forward boost speed is 510 meters per second, a little bit slower than the Gladius. The maximum navigation speed of the Gladius has been nerfed from 1,230 meters per second to 1,193 meters per second. And the Wolf's maximum navigation speed is 1,225 meters per second. So previously, the nav speed of the Gladius is faster than the Wolf, but after the nerf, it is slower than the Wolf. The maneuverability of the Gladius received a small nerf on its pitch axis, reduced from 70 degrees per second to 68 degrees per second, reduced by 2 degrees. This might seem to be insignificant, but for the ace pilot, for people who use this ship for PvP dogfighting, this might be significant, because for a light fighter, every degree of maneuverability counts. And now the pitch just reduced by 2 degrees. The yaw and the roll are the same. So right now, the Gladius pitch, yaw, and roll is 68, 52, and 200 degrees per second. Boosted pitch, yaw, and roll currently is 81.6, 62.4, and 240 degrees per second. Now, the Wolf pitch, yaw, and roll is 75, 52, and 210 degrees per second. So even before the pitch nerf for the Gladius, the Wolf on its pitch and roll axes are already better than the Gladius. So based on these stats, the first impression is that the Wolf can fly faster and the Wolf is more maneuverable compared with the Gladius. The hull HP of the Gladius received a, let's say, rebalance. So previously, total hull HP is 7,294. In 4.3, total health of the Gladius is 6,110, nerfed about 1,000. However, here is a big change. The vital part for the Gladius previously are both nose and the body. The nose has 2,000 hit points, and the body has 2,134 hit points. But in the 4.3, they removed the vital part of the nose for the Gladius. So the only vital part for the Gladius is its body, which has 2,350 hit points. I think this is a buff for the Gladius, a health buff, because when you remove the nose from the Gladius, you have only one vital part. which is the body. Body can be protected by the nose or the wings. So you have to go through the nose, the wings, the tail before you can reach the body, unless you're shooting the ship directly from the top or the bottom. And the hull HP of the body has been increased a little, sits at 2,350. So that's a good change for the Gladius. Now, compared with the Wolf, the total hull HP for the Wolf is higher, 8,500. And the vital part is the body as well, which has only 1,750 hit points. And even CIG said in the video they released for the Wolf, they said that the Wolf is a ship that cannot get hit too much. So it's fast and nimble ship, but fragile ship as well. The next difference is the physical damage modifier. For the Gladius is minus 57%, which means it can reduce 57% of the ballistic damage from the enemy fire. However, for the Wolf, it's only minus 50%. The standard claim time for the Gladius is 5 minutes 49 seconds. For the Wolf is only 4 minutes. The expedited timer for the Gladius is 2 minutes. But for the Wolf, it's only 1 minute. The expedited cost for the Gladius is 2,335 AUEC, and for the Wolf, it's 1,710. So the insurance claim for the Wolf has more advantage than that of the Gladius. Hydrogen fuel for the Gladius is 13.5 SCU and quantum 1.3 SCU. For the Wolf, hydrogen 9 SCU, quantum 0.9 SCU. So if you think the Gladius cannot travel long distances, the Wolf is only worse. Next comparison is perhaps my favorite comparison. The stealth signatures. For the Gladius, the minimum cross-section is in its front, 1,956. And the side is 7,823. The top is its highest, 9,779. So for the Gladius, if you want to make this ship a stealth ship, the highest detection range, if you go dark, turn off most of your components and everything, the highest detection range is about 9 kilometers. And the minimum is really depends on other factors like the IR or EM. If you can lower them below the front cross section, then your minimum will be below 2 kilometers. But I don't think you can do that for the Gladius because it does not have the stealth signature reduction. However, for the Wolf, look at the cross-section signature. Front is only 933 and side is its highest cross-section value, 5,600. And the top is 3,584. So the highest cross-section value for the Wolf is much lower than that of the Gladius, which means this ship can possibly be used as a stealth fighter. However, when I was playing with the components on the Ship Performance Viewer website, I changed everything to stealth components and turned off all my coolers, turned off my shield, my weapon, and 1 engine pip. This is what I got. The IR is still 9,711. I don't know if this number is correct or not. And my EM is 1,577. It is my experience that the IR is sometimes not very correct when it shows on the website. So to find out exact how stealthy this ship can be, we have to wait for the ship to come out, and then we're gonna do a detailed stealth test in-game. But so far, on paper, with such a low cross-section value, this is very promising. Now, comparing the weapons and components, the Gladius has 2 size 1 shields, 2 size 1 coolers, 1 size 1 radar, 1 size 1 power plant, and 1 size 1 quantum drive. And the Wolf has exactly the same components. 2 size 1 shield, 2 size 1 coolers, 1 size 1 radar, 1 size 1 power plant, and 1 size 1 quantum drive. Even the radar they use is exactly the same, Encounter military grade A. So in terms of the components, they are almost exactly the same. Now the difference will be the weapons. As we all know that the Gladius has 3 size 3 hardpoint, and those hardpoints are not bespoke. You can put whatever weapons on it. The Gladius has 4 missile racks, and total you can equip 16 size 1 missiles. For the Wolf, we have only 2 missile racks, and they are locked. Each missile rack can equip 4 size 1 missiles, so total we have 8 size 1 missiles for the Wolf, and you cannot change them to other sizes, just size 1. For the Gladius, we can use the Castillo bomb rack to put 4 size 3 bombs for the Gladius, but for the Wolf, we can't do that. Now, the weapons are special for the Wolf because they are using 2 bespoke size 4 ballistic Gatling guns. It's called Relentless L-21 Gatling gun. The alpha damage for this gun is 67 per bullet, compared with a size 3 Mantis Gatling gun, which has only 19 alpha damage. The fire rate is 950 rounds per minute. The Mantis Gatling gun has 1600 rounds per minute. Total ammo count 4200 rounds for the Wolf, and the Mantis has only 2133, so almost doubled the ammo count. And the ammo speed is 1650 meters per second, compared with the Mantis, which is 1600 meters per second. So they're about the same. And the range for this gun is 3.9 kilometers. For the Mantis is 2.6 kilometers. Of course, it says 3.9. It doesn't mean that you can hit your enemy at that range. Usually, you have to get really close. And the spread for this gun is both minimum and maximum is at 0.6 degrees. And for the Mantis is at 0.7 degrees. Since this is a Gatling gun, so it will overheat if you keep pulling the trigger. And the rounds before overheat is 167 rounds. And time before overheat is 10.5 seconds. The cooldown for overheat is 6 seconds. And that's the same as the Mantis Gatling gun. And because it is ballistic weapon, so it does not take extra power segment. So you just need 1 power pip to power up the weapon. And the health for this gun is 4,224 hit points. That's pretty good, because the Mantis Gatling gun has a health of only 1,500 hit points. Now, the Wolf has 2 of these size 4 Relentless Gatling gun. So the total sustained DPS for this gun, as well as burst DPS, is 2,122 hit points. Now, compare with the Gladius. If I put 3 size 3 Mantis Gatling gun for the Gladius, sustained and burst DPS is around 1,500 hit points. So that's all the major difference between the Wolf and the Gladius. Now, what do you guys think about the new ship? Or should you buy the Wolf is the question. I would definitely buy it just to test it out in real combat, but I cannot answer the question whether you should buy it or not, because this ship is quite interesting. It's a little bit faster and more agile than the Gladius, little bit fragile, but you have 2 size 1 shields. The Gatling gun is very interesting, and also the ballistic weapons is still a working in progress in this game, so we'll have to see how the ballistic turns out to be, and also regarding the armor once that comes into play. So we have to see. But for now, this is, to me, it's an interesting ship. The design is, I'm really shaking my head here, but that's just me. Maybe I will love the design once I fly it. But as of right now, by looking at all the leaks, by looking at the video that Star Citizen released, it's a cool, sleek design, but I still love the design for the Gladius. The design is very similar to one of the Star Wars ships, and very similar to the Corsair in Elite Dangerous. But for the Corsair, you can easily tell which is the front, which is the back. But for the Wolf, you can't tell which is the front, which is the back. And the bottom fin, I think it's gonna cause some problems. I don't know. So just my speculation, but it certainly is an interesting ship. So we'll definitely test it in detail and check out how many of them can you put inside